Awesome. Good. Welcome. So if we can just ask you guys all to mute and we'll get started on the presentation, and then we will have a time where you could ask questions specifically to your school, and then we will have a time where we will be able to maybe sit down with you guys maybe next week or the week after and give you a free audit, a free recommendation on what's going on your website. Because we have studied this, we have done courses on it, we have helped other businesses and ministries and schools to really simplify their message, and it has almost like 10 times more increase their enrollments, increase their attraction, parents getting confidence, bringing community together. So it works. So we're like, you know what, we need to help more schools. So that's why we are putting this webinar together. So hopefully that it blesses your school. So we're going to go through why websites are important. So let's go to that first. So why would you have a website? And, you know, it might be a no-brainer in today's world, especially after our wonderful time of COVID. But a lot of people still don't understand the objective or the purpose of a website. Website is the most popular way for parents and the community to find out about your school. It's not about what's happening at your school, what's a value at your school. And not having a good website is going to cause you to lose the attention and the values of students and parents who are coming on there. And so website gives you a first impression. Why am I saying website is a first impression? Most of the people, from a stats perspective, it has shown that 80 to 85% of the people first go and look at your website before they even decide to talk or call you. So sorry, give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to pin myself so that I don't want to record anyone else, and also I want to be recorded. So I want to respect your privacy. So why is important to have a website is that because you want to have a good first impression. First impression is that most of the people, like I said, the stats have shown that 80 to 85% of the parents or anyone who's looking for Christian school, they go to your website. And if they can't find right away how you're solving their problems, meaning how are you going to help my child? How are you going to help my joy, my precious joy and bundle to be able to have transformed, to have a biblical worldview, they are not going to be able to take actions on the website. You need to tell the stories of the school clearly and effectively. Why do you exist? And they need to see the passion. They need to see the drive. They need to see the values effectively. Right. And it builds credibility and trust with the parents. So as soon as they see a website, they're like, oh, you know what, this looks very clean. I know what they're about. I'm going to give them a call. But if they Google you and they can't even find your website, or they're they're a little hesitant to sometimes call 15 years ago, I would say most of the people are ready to give a call. Today, they are not ready to make a call unless you have spoken into their lives saying, hey, you know what, this is what the value of us are. So websites are very important for Christian schools. So let's go in and find out now the 10 things you must have websites. So we build a case on websites are important. Now let's talk about one of the 10 things that are important for a website. First thing is a clear tagline. Your tagline should be scannable, and it should instantly talk about the value of your school. And every school's value and the approach might be different. Even though you guys, every one of us are coming from a Christian perspective, biblical perspective, to raise and train up the child in the way they should go, your values might be like, we want to value excellence in our school. How are we delivering excellence? So we need to talk about the tagline. And if anybody who has come to this meeting, please send me an email or just contact us through our website. We can help you create a tagline. We can work with you, obviously. It's not just us making the tagline, but we can help you make tagline that sticks to people's mind easily. Okay, so tagline is very important. One thing I want to add with the tagline is that you need to tell your tagline within 5 to 10 seconds. So the reason why you don't want to bombard them with so much things, first frame of your website is such a prime real estate. You want to tell them a clear value proposition on why you're there and why people should come to your school. If not, they're going to get overwhelmed. And I'm telling you from a stats perspective, what people have experienced, what they have reported is that when they have too much information on the first frame of their website, people just leave because they're like, okay, I'll come back when I have time. And usually people don't have time. So taglines are very important to keep it simple and straightforward. So let's go to the next one. Number 2 is, what are your school offering? What does your school offer that's going to bring a transformation, that's going to bring value to the students? And we need to tell the parents the value and the benefits of your school. We need to identify the problems the parents are facing and how you have the solution. We don't want to just leave them hanging with problems, but we want to say that, you know what, the school can offer the solution. So, and communicate clearly how your school transforms life. Excuse me. So here a quick scan, you can scan that. Elise, if you can take to the next one until I clear my throat, if you don't mind.
So for the third one, it's the call to action. And a call to action is what you want visitors to do on your website. So it's basically like, what's the next step that you want parents to take on your website? So this could be a button that says enroll now, or a button that says contact us. Basically, you want to give them a clear path of what to do next, or else people might just read through your website and then leave because they're not really sure what to do afterwards.
Awesome. Thank you, Elise. And we can give you some examples of call to action that worked in the past. The fourth one is who you are. What makes you unique? What's your mission? And what are you trying to accomplish? And how does your mission connect to the parent's problem? And those are very important to say. And pictures speak volume, just to show your teachers, your principals, or founders. It shows that, hey, you know what? This is a real person behind the scene. Okay, let's go to the fifth one. Navigation menu. This is very important. So when you're navigating in school's website, you want to make it easy and simple forward for people to understand what they are. Here we have, from a school perspective, it's very straightforward that you have a preschool, elementary, secondary, and international. Then we make it easy for them to choose what they're looking for. If they're going to have to go and search, most of the time it has, again, from a research shows that people don't go and search for it. They want something easy to look at it. And poor navigation can become parents get frustrated, overwhelmed, and then they just leave the website. The sixth one is contact information. This one you might say, hey, it's no brainer. Now, you want to, sometimes what schools do is that they just have a contact form and then they don't have the email and phone number in there. It's very important that you make it easy and accessible for parents to contact you. So you can have contact section, a link there, or somewhere in a call, that can also be a call to action. Let's just say you like what you're looking at, contact us, and you need to have a contact information there so that parents are always, as they're navigating to the story of the school, they need to be able to reach out to you guys easily. Okay. The seventh one is eye-catching images. Now, this is so important in today's world. And you probably know from a social media perspective, in the world that we created, what they say, pictures tells 1,000 words. Pictures are so important. And when the pictures are blurry and they're not good quality, it actually impacts your first impression that we talked about, why websites are important. And it makes you look not professional, and it makes you look like, oh, you know what? They are a startup or they're just a small school. And you want, and again, you don't want any of those barriers. You want to use an image that conveys idea fast, and it shows the parents what is happening at that school. high quality images, and add images that tell again your story. What are your school about? You know what, some schools have grandparents day, some schools have, you know, father daughter dance, some schools have, you know what, going out there and helping out the community. Those are awesome things to show and tells the story about, you know what, we value relationship, we value our community, we value building a good leadership character. Okay, number 7. Sorry, number 8, high quality information. So it's not about how much quantity, how much information you have, it's about the quality of information. So your website needs to be scannable and easy to read quickly. So don't worry about using high, big words like, transformation or renewed. And again, those are awesome words in the Christian environment we use a lot, but sometimes people not might be able to understand what does transformation look like from your school to their child, and that's what we need to make it easy for them to understand. Reduce unnecessary text, that is very important. Language should be simple and easy. You don't use acronym, which might make sense for within your school, but outside people might not understand. Again, you're now leaving them out of the story. You want to invite them into the story of your school. Is very important. Number 9, accessible design. And right now, I know from a North America perspective, it's actually legal. You must have accessibility on your website, even if you don't have anybody in your school or anybody who's coming that might not need accessibility. I think from a government perspective, from a website compliance perspective, you must have accessibility. Here in Ontario, it's a guidelines of the WCAG AG 2.0, and I know in US for sure it's a must. It does in Canada. It's about 25, no, 50 employees or more must have the accessibility, but for US it doesn't matter what sizes, you must have accessibility designed in it, and we can show you later on what does accessibility mean. Okay, number 10, the last one, and then we'll go into review. Social media links. It's amazing how many school websites have looked at doesn't have their social media links, or they just have a share button of their social media, but it doesn't connect them to the social media. Social media is an awesome place where you can tell your story even more in a free atmosphere and a constant driving of your story. So you want to make sure people can find you on your website and connect with you on social media, because social media, will do another webinar on social media. It shows that people, on average, you spend about 3 to 4 hours on social media. That's a long time. So if we have your school coming in and developing contents in there, we want to be able to do it in an easy manner. They can find you, and they should be able to find that on your website easily. And that's giving the fact that you have a social media a presence, obviously. Okay, so you might say now, okay, all of this sounds cool, Jen, but what's next? What do we do next now? So this is what we can offer you guys. We can give you a free website audit. We can look at your website and give you recommendations, create a tagline for you, and help you give you a homepage that will tell your story effectively. Again, we can give you a general layout, and then so that you will be able to get started on telling your story effective. We are very passionate about partnering with Christian schools and making sure their online presence is clear and it's concrete, and it's also talking values and benefits. So if you're interested, email us. You can schedule an appointment on our Christian School Marketing.ca, or you can go email us at info@digital consultants. And at least if you don't mind putting both of those links in the chat, you guys can take that links from the chat. And what else is next is that you can get a summary of what we talked about here in this in the presentation that we just did, and that's available in the link as well, right, Elise? So you can it's under Christian School Marketing.ca / webinar, and you can get it from there into our Christian School review. So